Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be reading about Madam C.J. Walker. She was an inventor and a millionaire. This biography, or nonfiction book about a real person, was written by Patricia and Frederick McKissack. Madam C.J. Walker. Here's the table of contents. It tells us everything we're going to learn about in this book. So first, Christmas baby, then moving up the river, then the Walker plan, the Walker team, and finally for a good cause. Chapter 1, Christmas baby. Before the Civil War, Owen and Minerva Breedlove were slaves. They worked in the cotton fields on a large Louisiana plantation. When the war ended in 1865, so did slavery. Millions of African Americans were freed, including the Breedloves and their children, Lavinia, Alexander, James, and Owen Jr. Freedom was just about all the family had. Owen and Minerva did not have money, jobs, or a home. All they knew how to do was farm, but they had no land. The Breedloves did what many other slaves did. They became sharecroppers. They rented land from their old master and farmed it. Owen and Minerva worked long, hard hours on their rented farm. Still, they stayed poor. Most of what they earned went to pay back the landowner for seeds and food. There was no way to get ahead. Many slaves in the South worked in the same fields they had worked in when they were slaves. Owen and Minerva Breedlove were going to have another child. Christmas was not far away. There was no money for gifts. 2 days before Christmas in 1867, Sarah Breedlove was born. The family called her their Christmas baby. They had high hopes for this child. She was born free. Sarah Breedlove was born in this small cabin in Louisiana. She grew up to be the country's first female self-made millionaire. Chapter 2, Moving Up the River. Life was hard for Sarah and her family. It got even worse. There were many deadly diseases. Her parents got very sick and died. By 1875, Sarah was an orphan. That means she had no parents that were alive. 7-year-old Sarah went to live with her married sister. Lavinia tried to take care of her as best as she could, but the cotton crops failed year after year. They needed money to live. Sarah's brother Alex decided to move across the river to Vicksburg, Mississippi. After a while, Lavinia and her husband and Sarah moved there too. The two women took in laundry to make a living. Soon, young Sarah married Moses McWilliams so she could have a home of her own. On June 6, 1885, Sarah's daughter, Lilia, was born. About 3 years later, Moses died. Sarah and her sister worked hard. They made money by washing other people's clothes. Vicksburg was a river town. Sarah watched riverboats float up and down the river. She decided it was time to move on too. Sarah moved to St. Louis, Missouri in 1889. Soon Sarah had a good laundry business there, but she wondered if life would ever be better for her and Lilia. Sarah worked hard so Lilia could go to school. Lilia was bright and enjoyed reading. Sarah sent her to Knoxville College in Tennessee. Meanwhile, Sarah wasn't happy doing laundry. She wanted to do more with her life. In 1904, Sarah went to hear Margaret Murray Washington speak at a meeting of the National Association of Colored Women in St. Louis. Margaret Murray Washington was the wife of Booker T. Washington, the most well-known black leader of the time. She gave a great speech about the rewards of hard work. Sarah made up her mind. She was going to improve her life. In the 1880s, there were more steamboats on the Mississippi River. Sarah enjoyed watching them. Chapter 3. The Walker Plan. There were not many products for Black women's hair problems. Sarah's hair was thin and dry. Some of it was falling out. Sarah decided to make a hair grower to be used on her own hair. It worked. Her hair grew longer and thicker. Lilia was away at college. Sarah had married again, but she divorced her husband. There was nothing keeping Sarah in St. Louis, so she moved to Denver, where her brother Owen's wife and four daughters lived. Sarah got a job in a drugstore. At night she worked on her hair products. Soon, Sarah began selling her goods from door to door. Black women were happy to have something that made their hair look nice. Sarah's sales were so good, she hired women to help sell door to door too. Sarah went from house to house telling women about her hair products. Soon her business started to grow. Sarah had known Charles Joseph C.J. Walker back in St. Louis. Now he lived in Denver too. Their friendship soon grew into love. On January 4th, 1906, Charles and Sarah were married. From that time on, she called herself Madam C.J. Walker. Sarah's husband C.J. helped with advertising. This is an ad from some of Madam C.J. Walker's hair products. Chapter 4. The Walker Team. When Lilia graduated from college, she came to help her mother. In 1908, Madam Walker and her daughter opened Lilia College in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They trained women in the Walker Hair Care Plan. Women who graduated from the school were called hair culturalists. First, wash the woman's hair. Madam Walker's hair grower was added. Then the customer's hair was pressed with a hot comb and curled. In 1910, Madam Walker built her first factory in Indianapolis, Indiana. Right away, she hired people to help build a strong business. Lawyers Robert Lee Brokenburr and Freeman Briley Ransom managed the company. Violet Davis Reynolds was Madam Walker's secretary and good friend. They traveled together. They showed other Black women that they could start their own businesses too. Madam Walker trained women to have a complete look. She showed them how to care for their hair, nails, and clothing. Black women loved the idea of owning their own businesses. In 1910, most Black women made from $2 to $10 a week. Madam Walker's hair culturists were making $20 a week or more. A year after moving to Indianapolis, the company had 950 salespeople. The company earned $1,000 a month. Madam Walker had put the money back into the business. By 1918, her company was earning about $250,000 a year. Madam Walker made history by becoming America's first female self-made millionaire, white or Black. Madam Walker had enough money to buy several cars. Although she had a driver, she sometimes drove herself. Chapter 5. For a Good Cause. Madam Walker used her money to make life better for her family and people who worked for her. She also gave to churches, schools, hospitals, and other good causes. Madam Walker and her daughter, who had changed her name to Alilia, were interested in civil rights. At that time, the country was segregated. Remember, that means they were separated by color. The laws kept Black people and white people apart. Blacks and whites couldn't ride buses or trains together. They couldn't go to the same schools. Once Madam Walker went into a white theater, they charged her more money because she was Black. First, she sued the theater. Then she built the Walker Building, a block-long business center in downtown Indianapolis. Inside, there was a new movie theater where Black and white people could sit together. Most jobs weren't open to Blacks. Madam Walker spoke to groups all over the country. She believed Black people should start more businesses in their own neighborhoods. Then there would be more jobs for African Americans. In 1913, A'Lelia moved to Harlem, a mostly black neighborhood in New York City. She wanted her mother to move there. Harlem was becoming the center of black life. Finally, Madam Walker agreed that New York was the place to live. In 1916, she left Indianapolis, but the Walker factory stayed there. F.B. Ransom and Alice Kelly were left in charge. Alice Kelly knew Madam Walker's secret formula. Madam Walker and A'Lelia were the only other people who knew the formula at the time. Madam Walker had worked hard all her life. Now her health was poor. Her doctors told her to slow down, but she did not know how to rest. Madam Walker traveled around the country giving speeches and opening new beauty shops. Sarah Breedlove Walker, known as Madam C.J. Walker, died on May 25, 1919. She was 51 years old. Madam Walker used her success to help other African Americans. Here she is at the opening of a YMCA for African Americans. Standing next to her is the black leader Booker T. Washington. These are some words to know. All right, boys and girls, thank you for listening.